Right, everybody, we're going live. All right, everybody, we're get started in a few minutes here. Let's get all the live streams going. Let's see how the intro goes. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer with truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pig butchering scams, fatting wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. World 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pig butchering scams, fatting wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scammer World 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping. Snatch your cash, then you broken despair. Stay woke, my people, man, these crooks don't care. Wrong number text, they pretend they know.
Getting started soon. Let me know you're watching. Say hi in the chat. Hit that like button.
Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send a bail quick or his freedom might fail.
We started about 3 minutes here. Give me some reactions. Let's get this live stream shared. Let's get some more people in here. Hey, Dave, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you as always. The #1 fan out there. How you doing, Dave? Everything good?
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Get lost, scammer.
Wrong number text, they pretend they know you. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send a bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or else they're taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears or sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
Almost there. Got about 1 minute to go.
You
Hit
must
that like
go to
button.
the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears, they'll sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the live stream Thursday evenings. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Say hi in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Dave, I see you're out there. I'm sure John's going to be showing up soon. Good to see you as always. Anybody else that's just joining, hit that like button. Let me know you're watching. Let's share this live stream. We got plenty of scam awareness tips and information to go over this evening with you. We got plenty of examples we're going to share. A little bit about myself and Scamware 101 first. My name is Jared, founder of Scamware 101. And our mission is to spread awareness of scams that target individuals just like you, me, your friends, your family. Right? Because we're being targeted from all directions all day long, whether it's phone call scams, email scams, text message scams. There's even snail mail scams coming into your mailbox, right? So, and the thing with scams, modern day scams at least, is that there aren't many second chances, right? If you fall for this scam once, it's very hard to retrieve those funds. So awareness is key. Awareness helps you prevent becoming a victim from a scam, right? Being able to recognize these scams and spot these scams and stop these scams before you transfer any funds or give any money to the scammer is key, right? And that's how you do it, is through awareness. And we believe that knowledge is your best defense against scams. And our goal here, besides spreading awareness of scams, is alerts, warnings. We have a mailing list that you could join for free, scamware101.com. You could hit join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you some scam alerts, reminders about when we're going live, things like that, right? And yeah, so we're going to dive right in this evening. By the way, if you want to support us by throwing us a couple bucks, appreciate what we do. We got the memberships enabled on YouTube, and we got the super thanks and the super chats enabled on YouTube as well. And you could also donate directly, scamware101.com/donate. And finally, we also got some merch available too. So check out our YouTube store for some Scamware mugs and water bottles and stickers and mouse pads and all cool little merch that helps support the cause over here, but also will remind you to be Scamware. So with that said, we're going to stream for about 3 hours this evening is the plan. And we're going to go over about 20 different types of scams. We're going to show you tons of examples of these scams, right? Because that's what separates us from all these other people that you kind of get lectures from about scams, is we have so many examples that we're going to share with you. We have text message examples, phone call examples, email examples. We even have some snail mail examples. So it's jam-packed with examples that will help you better recognize these scams if you encounter them. All right. So with that said, again, hit this like button, share the stream. Let's get some more people in here. And we're going to dive right into some common scams to be aware of. The first scam we're going to talk about here is fake order scams, sometimes called fake purchase scams. Victims receive a fake notification that an order was made under their account. When the victim calls to dispute the fake order, a scammer impersonates customer support and attempts to steal their personal and financial information. All right. And this type of scam, these fake order scams, they're a big problem. Right? I mentioned right off the bat, I mentioned how we're being targeted from all directions. And these are one of those scams where you are. Phone calls, emails, text messages. And we got a few examples of those and some stories that we're going to share with you about this type of scam right here. So first off, you can see here on the left is an actual example of a fake order scam text message. Right, and this one impersonates Apple. But what's so dangerous about these fake order scams is they can impersonate anybody, and they do. Right? They impersonate well-known brands, and just like in this example, they impersonate Apple. Right? And the text message says, "We have noticed your Apple iCloud ID was recently used at Apple Store for $143, paid by Apple Pay pre-authorization." All right, then it goes on to mention some suspicious activity and eventually says to call this number immediately to cancel the charge. Right? But this is a scam. The whole goal of this scam is to trick you into calling that number. Right? Victims call the number. They think they're talking to Apple, but they're actually talking to a scammer. And that's what happened to this 23-year-old woman from Lincoln, Nebraska. Right? We have a report here and she shared her story, what happened to her. And here's what the article says. A 23-year-old Lincoln woman reported losing $4,100 after falling victim to an identity fraud scam in July. Right, so she lost $4,100 to this scam. The article goes on to say, the scam began on July 17th with an email claiming she had purchased an iPhone. The woman called the number provided in the email to dispute the purchase and was told she had multiple accounts open in her name across various states. So I'm going to stop right there and point out that's how this fake order scam works. She got the notification. In her case, it was an email, right? It says you purchased an iPhone, which she didn't, and there was no iPhone purchased. Like, the whole thing's a lie from start to finish. But the idea is to trick her into thinking, I didn't purchase an iPhone, let me call this number. And she did. She called the number. She thought she was talking to Apple to dispute a purchase. And that's when the scammers go into this whole narrative, right? So let me read on to what happened in her case, right? So they tell her that multiple people are using her identity. They're opening accounts across various states. And then the scammers connected the woman to a person posing as a CIA agent who instructed her to withdraw $3,600 from her bank account. The next day, she was directed to use that money to purchase Walmart gift cards and send photos and receipts of the gift cards. All right, and that's a big red flag. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later, but gift cards are a huge red flag. Right? Scammers love to get paid in gift cards. It's very hard to recover those funds once they're sent. Right? And all it takes is you take a picture of the gift card number, sent to the scammer, and that's it. The funds are gone. So we'll talk about that in more detail in a little bit. But anyway, these fake order scams, right? We showed you the text message example over here. Right? We heard about this victim's story where she got an email. Right? But what about phone calls? Right? Because this scam, like I said, targeted from all directions. Right? So here's some phone calls examples I'm going to play for you. These fake order scams. In the first example, the call impersonates Amazon and it claims a MacBook Pro was purchased. Right, so let's take a listen. And let me know in the chat if you've encountered any of these types of scams or phone calls or examples that I'm going to show and play for you.
This call is to authorize the payment of $1,499 for the recent order of Apple MacBook Pro on your Amazon account. If you do not authorize this payment, please press 1 to speak to our customer support representative.
So that's example 1 of a fake order scam phone call. Right? It impersonates Amazon. It claims a MacBook Pro was purchased for $1,499. Right? So somebody gets a call like that, they might feel pretty pressured to press 1 or call back the number. Right? So let's listen to and that's the whole point. Right? They want to scare you into reacting without thinking. Right? They want to cause fear. They want to cause a sense of urgency. So you react before you actually pause and stop to think about things. And being charged $1,500 might cause some people to react, right? So listen to the second version of these fake order scam phone calls. This one impersonates Walmart and claims that a PlayStation was purchased.
We are trying to contact you concerning an unverified purchase of PlayStation 5 Special Edition bundled with Pulse 3D headset being ordered from your Walmart account for an amount of $859.50. If you did not authorize this transaction or wish to cancel, please press 1 or return our call on same number at your earliest convenience.
Right, so that's an example of another fake order scam phone call. There's a few red flags, when they're saying call number back instead of leaving an actual number. They're telling you to call a number on the caller ID. That's always a red flag as well. But again, in this case, they impersonate Walmart and they claim a PlayStation was purchased for $859. All right, so watch out for these fake order scams. They're coming in from phone calls, emails, text messages. They try to trick you into calling phone numbers that aren't actually real customer support phone numbers. They trick you into calling the scammers, right? Or they trick you into pressing 1 to be connected to scammers. So don't fall for this scam. It's dangerous. They can impersonate any vendor, and they do. They can claim any product was purchased, and they do. So be skeptical of any kind of notification claiming an order was placed. If anything, verify through official channels. Don't call the number back. Don't press 1. Instead, check your Amazon account. Instead, check your Apple account. Check your accounts directly instead of clicking links or anything like that. So, fake order scams, watch out for them. Big problem. Dave mentions Joker Visa gift card. Interesting. Tell me about it, Dave. I'll have to look it up a little later, but I haven't heard about the Joker Visa gift card either. Next scam we're going to talk about, Grandparent Scams. This one, scammers impersonate a distressed relative, claiming they have been arrested or needing financial help. Victims, usually seniors, act quickly to assist their loved ones. The scammers often impersonate law enforcement, court personnel, and lawyers to extract even more money from the victim. Right? And this is one of those scams that, should really aggravate everybody. It's called a grandparent scam for a reason. It targets grandparents and parents, right? And it uses their children and grandchildren as the bait. But you might be thinking to yourself, well, how could someone fall for this? They're impersonating a loved one. I would know if somebody was impersonating my daughter or granddaughter or whoever, right? Well, maybe not so much. We have an example here that I'm going to show you. It's a video of an actual scammer, right? And what happened was there's a YouTuber, he goes by name Scam Sandwich, and he actually hacked into this scammer's computer and recorded him through his webcam. So the scammer doesn't realize he's being recorded. And we have a video of him performing a grandparent scam, right? And it's very convincing. And you'll see for like the first 20 seconds as he impersonates a loved one. It could be anyone's loved one, right? When people are crying in distress, they kind of all sound the same, right? So anyway, let's take a listen to this video of this scammer, and you'll see exactly how they perform these grandparent scams. And by the way, he's a scammer from the Dominican Republic. And this video is a couple years old now at this point. But he's a scammer from the Dominican Republic, and he's known as an opener. He's the guy that does initial contact and tries to open the scams, right? So we're going to watch him open the scam, and then eventually these guys, a lot of times, they transfer it to a closer who they're trained to take as much money as possible from the victim. But anyway, let's watch this video. It's a grandparent scam in action. Let me know what you think. Make sure to hit some that like button, some reactions here. Actually, I'll make it a little bigger for you. There.
Oh, Mom, I had a car accident.
Huh?
I had a car accident, Mom.
Is this Linda?
It's me, Linda.
Where are you?
I got a car accident.
What happened?
I'm gonna put the officer on. I got arrested.
You got arrested?
Hi, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi, are you Linda's mom?
Yes.
What I'm gonna need you to do is grab a pen and paper and write down Linda's case number, ma'am. I need you to hurry up, please, ma'am.
Case number?
It's the number 2.
2?
The letter B as in boy. Can you read that back to me?
2, B.
Now, I'm gonna read what's going on, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
Linda was involved in a car accident. It was stated in the police report. She admitted that was her fault. While she was driving, she was using her phone. That's what caused the accident, ma'am, okay?
Oh, man.
The woman that was driving the other vehicle was 7 months pregnant. We had to rush her into the nearby hospital. She might lose her baby.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, we actually confiscating her cell phone for legal evidence, so she cannot receive or cannot make calls. This is going to be her only last call. Are you with me, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Now, she actually wrote a note down here saying that she didn't want anyone to know about this. Let's honor her wish for right now because it's too much for her right now. That's what she's saying.
Okay.
What I'm going to need you to do, ma'am, is stay by the phone and wait for the lawyer to call, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye, ma'am.
All right, bye.
The next.
Yeah, so that's an actual example of a grandparent scammer in the Dominican Republic doing his thing. And by the way, the victim you heard in that, she didn't fall for the scam. She was about to, but the YouTuber who recorded this Scam Sandwich was able to reach her and warn her. So she didn't get scammed, so you're lucky. And now we have a video to warn others about this type of scam, right? So there you go. Be aware of this one. Warn your grandparents about this one. Warn your loved ones about this one. And don't fall for it if you're the older folks out there. The next few scams we're going to talk about, there are various road toll scams, parking scams that people who drive and commuters have to deal with. Let's see, there's a couple more people in the chat here. We got BWAN, Mavaser. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. BWAN doesn't think the lady was going to fall for it. I don't know. Sounds like she's going to fall for it. But regardless, we still got an excellent example now to share with people, right? So let's talk about these road toll scams. And they're only getting worse. There's different variations. So we're going to show you some examples here. These road toll scams. Scammers impersonate road toll services, EasyPass, SunPass, Fast Track, and they claim that an unpaid toll is due. Victims are usually contacted by text message or email containing a link to pay. However, the link opens a fake website designed to steal personal and financial information entered by the victim. There never was an unpaid toll due, right? And this is a numbers game to these scammers. They just send out hundreds of thousands of text messages per day, and they know that a certain amount of people are going to fall for it, right? And we have a few examples to share with you. There's so many examples that I have archived and saved. Actually, you know what I'm going to do real quick? Let's see here. I'm going to bring up, I just put up a whole bunch of new examples on our website, scamaware101.com. And where did I put it? Under knowledge base here. Then we see unpaid road toll scam. And the other day, I just uploaded all these examples of this scam that the most recent one was from March 22nd. So most recent one was from just a couple of days ago. Make it a little larger for you to see. There. Right, New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission, unpaid vehicle violation. Our records show an unpaid violation linked to your motor vehicle records. Right. Then we have please pay your toll in Florida by January 22nd in order to avoid excessive late fees. Pay your fast track lane tolls by January. BWAN, you are doing God. Oh, thanks, BWAN. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to spread something good out there, right? Get the word out about this. Because these scams, I mean, they're clearing people out. You know, the older folks especially. But yeah, look, Easy Drive, Massachusetts. Right, final warning, unpaid tolls, failure to pay $3.99. Here's the thing, though. They're not just trying to steal $3.99 from you. They're trying to steal your payment details, right? So that's why they use these low toll amounts. They want to trick you and be like, oh, I better pay this $3 real quick. But you don't realize they're actually stealing your payment details, right? And they make some of these very threatening sounding, right? Some say your license are going to be suspended. There's going to be legal action if you don't pay, right? They use those threats. So the top example here, the one that says New Jersey, this is a good example. It has a whole list of threats that are going to happen, right? Immediate suspension, registration revoked, registration blocked, prohibited from any future vehicle renewals, mandatory $100 fee, debt recovery referral to NJ Comprehensive Enforcement Program. I don't even know if those things are real. I don't even know those programs even exist, right? But the scammers don't care. They're going to try to scare you. So anyhow, I don't want to spend too much time on that specific scam, but it is very common. It is important to be aware of. Right, and we're seeing them impersonate the DMV, Department of Transportation, at this point. So this one's been going on for a while. Now, what's interesting about this unpaid road toll scam, you know, it's been coming in mainly through text messages, but they've also been hitting emails. It kind of evolved into an outstanding traffic ticket scam, right? Where instead of just saying that you have an unpaid road toll, now there's a whole bunch of text messages going out where they say you have an unpaid traffic ticket. All right, here's some examples of that. You see one that says Nebraska Department of Vehicles enforcement penalties begin July 21st. Illinois Department Vehicles enforcement begins July 25th. Right. And what's interesting about these two first examples is they're actually identical examples. It's just different states, which is important to recognize. When you see a scam in one state or you hear about it happening in one state, almost guaranteed it's in other states too. Right. So don't think that you're just safe because you're hearing about it in one state. If anything, put your guard up because it's going to be coming to your state soon if it hasn't yet. Right, and then there's one over here, another New Jersey one, unpaid traffic violation, payment required by January 19th. Right, this example is just from a couple months ago. So you'll get these text messages. They'll say you have an unpaid toll, you have an outstanding traffic ticket. Very common. Don't fall for them. Never click the links. Never click the links. Never provide information to these sites. If you're concerned it's real, reach out through official channels, meaning if you have the EasyPass app, check your EasyPass app. Or call the Department of Motor Vehicles directly, but make sure you're actually calling them. Don't trust the phone numbers in these text messages or links in these text messages. You can never trust the phone numbers or links, right? So be aware of that. And kind of staying on the theme right now of road toll and parking and driving scams, fake parking ticket scams. This one is increasing. We're seeing more and more of this. I have a couple different examples for you. Right. And then some of these examples, you know, you're getting an email or a text, but in other examples, they'll actually leave a fake physical piece of paper parking violation on your car. Right. So you can see here, there's an example from the city of Houston. Somebody finds this on their car. It's got the city of Houston seal across the top and it has a QR code to scan. But any payment details you enter actually get stolen by the scammer. This is a fake parking violation scam. And then, so this is the paper version of the fake parking violation. But now most recently, by the way, this is probably one of the most recent scams we're going to show you. It started popping up, I think, last week. This one suddenly started popping up, right? New Jersey. Look how realistic these look. These started going out last week. People started reporting these. And it started with these New Jersey ones, were the first reports that started getting some attention, at least to my knowledge, right? Parking violation / toll violation, right? And then it's got this QR code to scan. Looks very legit. These are going out in emails and text messages, but they're scams. They're fake, right? And going back to what I said about you see it in one state, then it's going to be in another. Look at these. Here's New Jersey right next to it. Here's the Massachusetts example that's been going out and getting reported. Which, by the way, even the scammers can't spell Massachusetts wrong, so don't feel bad. Right? And then next to it, we have the state of Florida one that's circulating. So be aware of these. These scams are getting more and more legit looking, more and more real looking. You know, what's kind of interesting about these is these actually say you have to, you know, either pay or show up for a court date. So I wonder how many people think that these are legit tickets and they're like, well, I wasn't parked there. This is ridiculous. I'm going to go to court. I wonder how many people show up to court and then find out that these weren't even a real ticket in the first place. So, but anyway, watch out for this one. Warn your friends about this one. This is actually, like I said, it started circulating mostly last week. These started popping up, and we're starting to see more examples coming from other states. Just before the live stream, I saw an example for New York State. So I didn't have enough time before the stream to save it and then put it in the presentation. But there's one from New York now, so they're gonna be in every state. Watch out for them. BWAN is asking, how do these people acquire people's private emails and phone numbers? I mean, well, what's private? You know, so a lot of our personal information, you know, forget just emails and phone numbers, right? They have so much more than emails and phone numbers. What happens is these scammers, they buy stolen information about us. So what I mean by stolen information is you hear about these cyber breaches, right? In the past couple of years, there's been so many data breaches in hospitals, insurance companies, right? Doctors' offices. There's been so many data breaches, meaning your records have gotten stolen, right? There's been a bunch of background companies got breached last year that had like 90% of public's information on file and it got stolen, right? So all our personal information from medical records, right? Any information that we use to sign up for websites, you know, to use any website, you have to use an email, right? So that website gets hacked. Now your email's out there. So they buy it, but it's from stolen sources. And what's a shame about that is that what can you do to defend that, right? If you're going to use, you know, you have to have an email address to sign up for someplace, right? So it's that's how to get your personal information. Well, that's one of the main ways, at least. You know, but then there's also public sources as well. You know, there's just our information is floating out there. There are some services you could use that you could get your information removed from certain websites. But I mean, it's on the dark web. It's out there. It's, you know, you could use those services, but it's really not gonna, you know, if it's worth the money, it's debatable. No, that's a great question though. Cool. Thanks for asking. Hey, Ava, welcome to the live stream. Good to see you. Yeah, I saw your profile. I followed you back. Your services are interesting, Ava. We should maybe talk. Maybe shoot me an email, or maybe we could work together somehow or collaborate somehow. Hopefully, you're still here and you're seeing me. So this next scam we're going to talk about, again, keeping on the theme of parking and driving, is these fake parking meter QR code scams. Right. And what's interesting about this one, why I like this example, is because the tactic doesn't just apply to these parking meters. It can apply to anything in public. So what these scammers do now is they print out these malicious QR codes on stickers. All right. And then they go around and they put their stickers on top of the legit stickers. Right. So someone will think that they're scanning the QR code to pay for parking. Right. It takes them to a fake website and they get their payment details stolen. All right, so a scammer gets your payment details. But what's interesting, and just add insult to injury, right? So now the person comes back and their car's gone because it turns out they didn't pay for parking. Now it's towed. So they got scammed in two ways, right? They got scammed by the scammer and scammed by the parking or by the tow company, right? So, but it's a good example of how you have to be careful with QR codes in public because they're on everywhere now. You know, the scammers, they think of clever things. Anything that has a QR code in public, they could try and cover it. So you have to be super aware of that and careful, right, when scanning QR codes in public. If you could avoid scan the QR code altogether, then don't scan it. And what I like to do, I actually like to use an example, is because one of the slides that's going across the screen right now on my live stream, one of them ends up being a donate slide as a QR code, right? So I'll use that as an example though, right? So when that slide goes past, you'll see it's a QR code, but it also has the URL that you could go to directly, right? The safest QR code is one you don't have to scan, right? You don't have to scan the QR code. You see exactly where it's supposed to go. You can go to scamaware101.com/donate directly. So you can bypass the QR code altogether. And that's the best thing to do. If you could bypass the QR code, like if it says where to go to, then go directly. Now, if you can't bypass the QR code, then at least preview where it goes to when you scan it. Usually could preview it, right? And see if it looks legit. Be careful with any information you provide. But I don't want to beat a dead horse. QR codes, just got to be aware, right? So that's the first batch of scams we're going to be talking about this evening. We have a lot more coming up too. But now for this next portion of the live stream, we're going to jump into some common red flags that it's a scam. All right, we have 10 red flags that we're going to go over that indicate you're dealing with a scammer. And some of these red flags are super important because in a lot of cases, they might be your last chance to stop the scam. All right, so I have a video. Well, actually, we have 2 videos on our YouTube channel about these red flags. We do 5 in one video, 5 in another. I'm going to cover all 10 right now. All right, but if you know someone that could find these red flags useful, which really everybody could find these red flags useful, I think, go check out those videos a little later. Share them with some loved ones. You know, I could use the shares and the likes. So help me out. I appreciate it, and help out your loved ones too. I'm making sure they're aware of these 10 red flags. It's a scam. So let's talk about red flag number 1. And I already mentioned this a few times during the live stream. They create a sense of urgency using fear and threats. Right, the scammers insist on immediate action. Right, they want to create urgency and fear because those emotions push people to react quickly. Right, you react quickly without thinking. They want you to react quickly before realizing it's a scam. So they use fear, they use urgency. Right, the more you panic, or the more a victim panics, the more likely they are to hand over money and information to a scammer. Okay, and some examples, which we actually went over already, which is great. The grandparent scam. Right, that's a great example of how they use urgency and fear to get the victim to move forward quick without thinking, right? They try to get you to react without thinking. Oh my God, my daughter's in trouble. I got to help her. And you're whatever it takes, right? But it's part of the scam. Arrest warrant scams, we're going to talk about those in a little bit. They impersonate the sheriff's office. You think they're going to come and arrest you for missing jury duty, right? Scary. They create fear, get react. Bank impersonation scams, we'll talk about those in a little bit too. Right? But they make you think your money's in danger. They make you think someone has access to your account. They make you think that your money's not safe and that you have to withdraw your money and you have to do it quick before the scammer gets it. Right? So, but then after you withdraw the money, they trick you into transferring it or moving it to the scammer. And in a way, that's going to be very hard to retrieve. Right? So anyway, that's red flag number 1. They're creating a sense of urgency using fear and threats. Right? A legit organization shouldn't be threatening you. Right? And we'll talk some more about that a little later as we go over more examples. Red flag number 2. That you're dealing with a scammer. They request you to keep the matter confidential or secret. Right, this one's huge, and I'm going to share you some more examples later on, and I'll point these out as they occur. In fact, on that grandparent scam example, all right, at one point, the scammer says she's embarrassed about the arrest and asks you not to tell anybody. Right, but that's actually a trick. Right, they're just trying to give an excuse or a reason for the victim to stay quiet and not mention this to anybody. Because here's the deal: the more people the victim talks to, the more likely they are to find out it's a scam. So the scammer wants to keep them quiet. The scammer's going to tell them all these crazy excuses and stories of why you can't tell anybody. You got to keep this confidential. You got to keep this secret. Right? Investment scams. They'll say that it's an inside tip. Don't tell anyone. The price is just for you. Right? That's just a clever way for them to try to trick you to keep quiet until they steal all your money. Inheritance scams. Right? I have an example that I'll share a little later. It's a law office, a fake law office, claiming you have an inheritance. Right? And at the very end, they're like, you have to keep this matter confidential. Who are they to tell you to keep it confidential? Right? But it's a scam. They don't want you telling anybody. Right? The fake fraudulent activity. This is what I'm talking about when they impersonate the bank or somebody investigating fraud. what they do is they tell the victim, this is an open investigation. The teller could be in on it. We could be investigating her. You can't tell anybody what's really going on or the conversation we're having, right? So, or you could ruin the whole investigation and then we're going to hold you responsible. Scary stuff, right? But there's a red flag to keep it quiet, to keep it confidential. And usually it comes as like a clever little story like that. So anyway, red flag number 2, you're dealing with a scammer. They request to keep the matter confidential or secret. Who's with me here? Is this information useful? Let me know in the chat if you find it useful. Checking out Facebook and Instagram here. It looks a little quiet over there. That's fine though. I like having everybody over on YouTube anyway. People on YouTube are my people. Red flag number 3. This one's a big one. This one's important to be aware of. Well, all these are. But red flag number 3, they ask to connect your PC to assist or investigate an issue, right? Look, scammers love to get on your device, your PC, your phone, whatever the case, because once they're on your device, they could steal your logins and passwords, right? Even if you have your logins and passwords saved in Chrome, a lot of times scammers could extract that once they get onto your device. Also, they could encrypt your files, steal your files, hold them for ransom, blackmail you if you have embarrassing things on there, right? Or personal things, right? They could attempt to access your banking websites while they're on your computer, or sometimes you think you're dealing with the bank and you're opening your account and you're showing your funds to them on your computer and you don't realize it's a scam, right? It's just a big red flag when someone wants to connect to your device. And we're going to go over some of these examples in more detail, but fake virus alert and tech support scams. Very important to be aware of those, right? They trick you into calling tech support, a fake tech support number. And then the first thing they do is say, hey, let's connect to your computer. And we got some examples of those coming up in a little bit. The older folks are the most impacted by a scam, so definitely important to be aware of. Fake order scams like we just talked about, right? A lot of times when you call that fake order number, right, and you're talking to a scammer, sometimes part of playbook is for them to say, well, let me connect your device and I'll see what notification. Well, let me take a look at the email, see what the email says, right? But it's a trick. They just want to get on your device. Fake fraudulent activity. Again, they're impersonating the bank. And they'll say, hey, let me connect your device. And when they're on your device, they'll say, let's check your other accounts for fraudulent activity. Open up all your bank accounts and log into each. We'll let you know if there's anything suspicious. Well, guess what? You're opening up all your accounts while the scammer's saying, oh, okay, yeah, this much money I could take in this account, this much money I could take in that account. Right? So you never want to let a stranger access your device. Okay, and we'll talk about some more of those scams that trick you into that in a little bit. Red flag number 4, you're dealing with a scammer. This one is huge. I mentioned, some of these red flags, they're important because a lot of times it might be the last chance you have to stop the scam, right? And this red flag is one of those cases, right? So red flag number 4, you're dealing with a scammer. They request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, or depositing cash at a Bitcoin ATM. This is huge, right? Because scammers like to get paid in these unusual forms of payment because it's easier for them to move funds quickly. And it's also harder for victims to recover the money after it's sent. And this is a big problem. This is why I mentioned earlier, a lot of times there aren't second chances, right? If the scammer tricks you and steals your entire life savings, your retirement fund, right? If you sent it through cryptocurrency, if you sent it through gift cards, right? If you deposit it into the Bitcoin ATM, it's very, very unlikely you're going to get those funds back. All right. So it's a huge red flag when someone's insisting on payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency. They instruct you to go to ATM deposit money, right? Or Bitcoin ATM. They might not call it Bitcoin ATM, but they instruct you to deposit money into it. All right. All red flags. So be aware of that. All right. Some examples, IRS Social Security Impersonation Scams. They might say you owe back taxes or you owe money. They'll try to get you to pay with gift cards or cryptocurrency, which is 100% a scam. The government doesn't accept those payments yet. Romance scams, right? Scammers are constantly tricking their emotionally attached victims into sending gift cards or depositing cryptocurrency into a shared account. But the victim doesn't realize it's not a shared account. It's a wallet they don't have access to. They think they're sending money. They think it works like a bank. They think you can deposit and withdraw it, but it doesn't work that way. They're sending cash to somebody's wallet or cryptocurrency to somebody's wallet that they're not going to be able to get back. All right, so it's very common for these romance scammers to ask for those forms of payment. But look, any mention of gift cards at all, that's considered a red flag. So again, very important red flag. Red flag number 4, they request payment in gift cards, prepaid cards, cryptocurrency, depositing cash at Bitcoin ATM. Don't fall for it, and definitely stop and pause and reanalyze what's going on if you find yourself in a situation where they're requesting you to purchase gift cards. Who's with me? Give me some reactions. Red flag number 5. They're dealing with a scammer. The voicemail instructs you to call number displayed or call number shown on the caller ID instead of stating an actual phone number. And that's a big red flag because scammers are constantly changing their phone numbers. They're constantly getting their phone numbers turned off on them and having to change phone numbers, right? So instead of having to re-record the message every time and update the message and recordings, what they do is they just say call number displayed. So the number can keep on changing as many times, but they don't have to worry about updating their recordings, right? So it's always a big red flag if you get a voicemail like that, because if it's a legit company, they're not going to say call number displayed. They're actually going to state the number. You know, call us back at this number. They're not going to say call number shown on caller ID. So it's always a big red flag. Also, getting a call and being told to press 1 to connect, right? Because that bypasses the whole calling back, right? That just connects you directly to scammer. So it's a big red flag when you get a voicemail. It's telling you to call number displayed. Some of those examples earlier of the fake order scams did that, right? Where they tell you to press 1 or call number displayed to dispute an order. So a big red flag. Don't trust it. You get these sometimes with utility and internet cable provider scams when they impersonate your cable companies and power companies, and they'll get a call that says you owe money and the callback number displayed. IRS and tax forgiveness scams. I mean, really for all sorts of scams, you run into this red flag. So just be aware of it and don't fall for it. You get these phone calls and voicemails that say call number displayed. That's red flag number 5. Halfway there. Got 5 more we're going to go over. Oh, and by the way, if you're just joining, welcome to the live stream. I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Our mission here at Scamware 101. Jeez, that's got tongue-tied there. Our mission here at Scamware 101 is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals like you, me, your friends, your family, right? Because we're being targeted all day long. And you can help support what we're doing over here by joining our free mailing list on scamware101.com. Right, so just go to scamware101.com and hit join mailing list. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. So make sure to hop on there. Give us a quick follow, a like, a subscribe. It really does help. We appreciate it. And our weekly live stream, we do this every Thursday 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, and we usually go for about 3 hours here. So we still got at least another hour and a half to go. 2 hours to go, actually. So we got a lot more information coming up. So make sure to share the live stream, invite some more people in here. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe. Follow us on your other favorite social media platforms. Definitely join the free mailing list. Again, scamware101.com. Join the free mailing list. Also, we have a merch shop. We have the link at the bottom of our website. It says gift shop, or you can check out our YouTube store and support our mission by purchasing some merch. Right? We got some coffee mugs, travel mugs, mouse pads, water bottles, stickers. So help support the mission, purchase some merch. It's over on our YouTube store and on our website. We appreciate you. And you can always donate directly. Scamware101.com/donate. Appreciate that as well. Now, let's get back to these red flags. And by the way, I want to hear your stories too. Anybody that's out there, let me know if you've encountered these red flags, what scams you're being targeted with, what scams you and your friends or family might have fallen for or are getting currently tricked by, right? Oh, by the way, one other thing I want to show everybody too. Almost forgot. We have courses available as well. Go to courses.scamware101.com. There's also a link at the bottom of the site too. And we have a Scam Awareness Fundamentals course. Oops. How scams start. We go over 6 common ways that scams start. videos about all of them, little quizzes after each chapter to help you remember the key points. $9.95, so less than $10. Go check it out. And then make sure to give it 5 stars. We got a list for $9.95 right now. So less than $10, gives you access for a year. It's about an hour worth of videos. You get an awesome worksheet you can download with it. Huge PDF files, like 30-something pages, tons of scam examples, all good stuff. So check it out. Take the online course, courses.scamaware101.com for $9.95. Tell your friends. Anyway, let's get back to these red flags here. Red flag number 5. No, we already did that. Red flag number 6. An unsolicited email or text message instructs you to open a file attachment. Look, this is cybersecurity 101. You never want to open a file attachment, whether it's attached to an email or a text message, from someone you don't know or weren't expecting, right? Because the file, at best case, is going to take you to a fake website. Worst case, is going to affect your computer with a virus or malware. All right, so you never want to open attachments that you weren't expecting or from someone you don't know. Right? Some examples of that are fake invoice scams. You get an email that has an attachment. It says there's an invoice attached. All right, but it's a malicious file. You open it, it's going to do something bad. Undeliverable package scams. Right? You'll get an email or text message that says you have a package that they couldn't deliver and tells you to open an attachment, an HTML file or a PDF file. Don't do it. It's a scam. All right, the unpaid road toll scams. Sometimes you'll get one of those text messages or emails that I was showing you earlier, and they'll say, open this file attachment. All right, but again, it's going to take you to a fake website or infect it with malware. So don't do it. Never open a file attachment that you weren't expecting that you received by email or text. Right, cybersecurity 101. So that's red flag number 6. You get an unsolicited email or text message with the file attached. Don't open it. Next red flag we're going to talk about here, red flag number 7. The text message includes an instruction at the end to reply with yes and reopen the message. So this doesn't necessarily mean every time that's a scam, but it is very common that we see this on scam text messages, right? At the end of it, we'll see a little instruction that says reply yes and reopen the message. Well, here's the thing. Replying yes to these scam text messages, what it does is it tells the scammer that your phone number is active. And then they know to target you even more. They'll target you from different phone numbers as well, right? So you never want to reply to a scam text message, because then it's just going to get you targeted even more, right? And we see this a lot on so many different text message scams where it has an instruction at the end that says reply yes and reopen. I mean, we have some examples I could list off here, but really they could be on any, right? We see them on the outstanding traffic ticket scams. We see them on the undeliverable package scams. We see them on the IRS and Department of Revenue scams, right? Pretty much any text message scam. Well, we could see this instruction included at the end to reply yes and reopen the message. By the way, that also activates the link on some devices too. So it makes the dangerous link more clickable. So anyway, red flag number 7, the text message includes an instruction at the end to reply with yes and reopen the message. Indicates it's a scam. Don't fall for it. How we doing out there? Check out Facebook and Instagram. It's a little quiet out there, but that's okay. Let me know you're watching. Leave a comment. Hit that like button, a thumbs up, all that good stuff. All right, red flag number 8. We got 3 more to go here. Red flag number 8. The caller asks you to confirm personal information like date of birth, social security number, or Medicare number. It's a big one for the older folks out there. A lot of Medicare scams and healthcare scams. All right. But scammers impersonate medical, financial, and government services to steal personal information. They'll claim to have an important message for you, but they'll require you to give personal information, right, to supposedly receive the message. They'll say, like, give me your birth date before we can provide you the message. It's a scam. Don't trust it. Sometimes they'll say there's a new card being issued, right, with a social security card or Medicare card. They'll try to get you to verify your current personal information, but it's all scam. All right, it's very common with the healthcare and Medicare scams. Okay, somebody calls up claiming to be from Medicare or your doctor or healthcare provider. Be suspicious. Be suspicious. You always have to hang up and call back and verify, right? You can't trust the phone numbers on caller ID. You really can't. Scammers manipulate caller ID. They spoof caller ID. All right, so don't fall for it. That's red flag number 8. The caller asks you to confirm personal information like date of birth, social security number, Medicare number, start date of Medicare sometimes. Because what they're going to do, they're going to try and file false claims. Right? They're impersonating government agencies. They might try to steal your tax returns or file false applications. Right? So anyhow, don't provide personal information to unknown callers. Don't answer the phone for unknown callers. That's what I really recommend. As Scamware 101 says. Red flag number 9. They're dealing with a scammer. They direct you to a third-party chat app like Telegram or WhatsApp to continue the conversation. Right? It's easier for scammers to communicate with victims in other countries using a chat app. Right? Instead of sitting there texting back and forth international phone numbers. Right? And also, these chat apps offer them more anonymity to hide behind. Right? And we see this a lot with romance scams. Right? The scammers will match with victims on dating websites or dating apps, and then they'll direct them to keep talking on WhatsApp. That's a red flag. Wrong number scams. Right? They'll send out text messages to all these random phone numbers, and the people that are kind enough to reply, they'll say, "Oh, you seem friendly. Let's keep talking on WhatsApp." Right? Investment scams. They'll direct you, the victim, to a Telegram or WhatsApp group to pump up an investment, make it seem more real. We see that a lot in pig butchering scams. A lot of times the victims join a fake investment group. So be aware of these types of red flags. Right? If you're talking to somebody, a stranger you just met, and they're trying to get you to continue a conversation on Telegram or WhatsApp, and be suspicious. If they try to get you to download any kind of app, be suspicious. It's red flag number 9. Red flag number 10, you're dealing with a scammer. It's the last one we'll talk about this evening. They ask you to provide a code that was sent to your phone via text message. Right, so this is actually a very common scam. We see it on marketplace type of websites. They impersonate buyers and sellers. Right? And a lot of times they'll say, "We just want to confirm your phone number. We're going to send a code to your phone. Let me know what that code is." But this is actually a common scam. What they're really trying to do is they're trying to access your account or reset a password that's attached to your phone, or they're trying to create and register a new account that's linked to your phone. Right? So why would they want to do that? Well, there's Google Voice scams, for example. Right? What they do is they use your phone number to create a fraudulent Google Voice account. And if you provide that code back to them, you allow them to do that. So now your phone number is linked to a fraudulent Google Voice account that the scammers could use. Right? So you should never reply back and provide a code to a scammer. Other times they might be trying to just get into one of your accounts. Right? You'll be on the phone with a scammer impersonating the bank. And the scammer will say, "I just want to confirm your identity. I'm going to send you a text message." What they're actually doing is they're trying to log into your bank account. And if you give them that code back, you're authorizing them to access the bank account. Right? So there's a big red flag if you're talking to an individual and they're telling you, provide the code that they're going to send to your phone. All right, be suspicious. Don't fall for it. It's a common scam. That's 10 red flags to be aware of that indicate you're dealing with a scammer. What do you all think? How are we all doing out there? Hope you find that information useful. Give me some reactions. If you haven't said hi in the chat or commented yet, say hi. Let me know you're watching. I don't really watch the viewer count, so I have no idea how many people are watching unless you're reacting or talking to the chat. So we're gonna keep going anyway. So let's see. We are at almost at the end of our first hour here. We're going to talk about a couple more common scams, and we're going to take a quick 5-minute break and continue on with the second hour. But let's start with, well, let me cover 3 more scams. And then we'll do the quick break. Maybe 7, probably going to be earlier than that, but we'll see. All right. Continuing with some common scams to be aware of. And another example, a great example of how scammers use fear to create urgency, how to use threats and fear. Actually, hold on a second. I gotta put my fan on. It's getting a lot here. All right, so arrest warrant scams. Again, this is a great example of how scammers use fear to create urgency, right? They call you up, they impersonate the sheriff, they impersonate the local sheriff or law enforcement, and they say that there's an arrest warrant that's going to be issued for you, or one already has. And often they'll say that it's because you missed jury duty, or they'll say there's an old charge, right, that you failed to show up to court for, right? But none of it's true. It's all a trick. They're trying to scare you into paying fees that aren't real, right? And they'll be very threatening. They'll say that if you don't pay now, if you don't pay immediately, we're going to send deputies there. They'll arrest you. It could be a scary situation. And what we have here is we actually have a couple of victim reports about this scam that I want to share with you because it gives us a peek about some more details about this scam. All right, so his first report regarding an arrest warrant scam. And by the way, these are from January. So these are only like 2 months old, these reports. All right, this one's from both of these are from January 2026. All right, so these scams are very active. All right, and this first report about this arrest warrant scam, the report says, a man reportedly from a sheriff's department in a city I used to live said that there was a warrant for my arrest. It was due to not reporting for jury duty. All right, so there's that jury duty narrative. All right, and then he says, I was not to discuss this with anyone because children were involved. Right, there's that trick they use to try and keep you quiet. They make up that story, try request for secrecy. In this case, say children were involved, so you can't talk to anybody about this. All right. Well, it's funny. You wouldn't have known that they never told you. So the whole thing is absurd. But anyway, the victim goes on to say, I was told to go to Walmart and put money on a one account. They would provide me with a barcode when I got there. Right, so that's a big red flag. When they're telling you to go to Walmart and deposit money on an account or scan QR codes, very suspicious. It goes back to that whole unusual forms of payment, red flag. Right. So anyhow, I thought that was a great example. It had an example of how they try to trick him into staying quiet and not discussing it with anybody. It's an example of how they direct him to go to Walmart and load up a prepaid account. All right. Look, if you get a phone call from somebody claiming to be from local sheriff's office saying that you're going to be arrested, hang up and then go call back the official number of the sheriff's office and confirm if your concern is real. But look, if they're going to arrest you or issue a warrant, they're usually not going to give you a call. They're usually going to show up and on your doorstep at 5 a.m. So the second report, too, regarding these arrest warrant scams. Oh, and by the way, something very important to realize, too, is your caller ID will show the sheriff's department, right? Even though it's a scammer, you can't trust caller ID. That's very important to recognize and be aware of. So many victims have fallen for scams that they thought they were talking to the bank or they thought they were talking to law enforcement because they thought they could trust caller ID, and they can't, right? Scammers manipulate caller ID. You can't trust it. But anyway, let's go on to the second report about this arrest warrant scam, again from January. Received a phone call saying they were from the county sheriff and that I had 2 charges against me that I had to pay a fee. Was made to stay on the line and was directed to deposit money through a cryptocurrency machine. The whole time they were threatening to have me arrested if I didn't comply. Right? So this is an example, too, of how they kept him on the phone because they didn't want him to talk to anybody else. So they actually kept him on the phone while he drove to a cryptocurrency machine. Right? And there's an example of how they're very threatening the whole time, trying to use fear to make you think you're going to get arrested. So watch out for this type of scam. It's a big one. Lots of warnings about this scam from local sheriff's department because, a scammer, when you think about it, the scammer's impersonating law enforcement, right? Law enforcement doesn't like that. So lots of warnings about this scam circulating and also lots of reports too. So if you get a phone call claiming there's an arrest warrant, don't fall for it. Even if they offer fake paperwork, right? It's been reported that these scammers, they'll even offer to provide fake paperwork. So we did a video about this on our YouTube channel. Go check out our arrest warrant scam video. We included some clips from the media too and stuff like that. So it's a good video. Check it out and make sure your friends are aware of it. And here's a little infographic we created too, just explaining these arrest warrant scams that we use to spread awareness about it. Right, they demand immediate payment. They use deceptive tactics. The golden rule, hang up and verify. If you receive a suspicious call, hang up and call the agency back using their official, publicly listed phone number. All right, law enforcement's never going to ask for payment over the phone. All important stuff to be aware of. And honestly, never trust caller ID. Probably going to say that a bunch more. So, Dave says, last year I received 5 messages from Cash App with a code, then random messages requesting the codes so I could get a prize dollar account amount. Ooh, yep. So we have these clever ways of trying to trick you into providing that code, right? So Dave's example they just gave in the chat. And by the way, we have 2 live chats going on YouTube. So when I'm referencing these, if you don't see it, it's probably because they're in the other chat. We have a vertical stream going and a wide stream going. So what Dave just mentioned in the one chat, last year received 5 messages from Cash App with the code. Then random messages requesting the code so we could supposedly get a prize dollar amount, right? But that's just a clever way, again, that these scammers are trying to trick you. They're like, we just sent you a code to win a prize, reply with the code, but they're actually doing something malicious, right? In this case, it sounds like it was Cash App, so there you go. Next scam we're going to talk about, bank impersonation scams. Lots of losses to this one, folks. Lots of losses, these bank impersonation scams. And again, you get a call from a scammer that's impersonating the bank, right? They usually claim there's suspicious activity under your account, and then they'll eventually try to trick you into withdrawing or transferring your money or your funds. And this is one of those scams where the caller ID will show your bank's phone number too, right? Just because the caller ID says your bank, it doesn't mean it is. It doesn't mean you can trust it. We have some examples of this one to share with you. And again, this is one that we're actually being targeted, again, from all directions. Text messages, phone calls, emails. Right? So you have to be aware. Anything involved in the bank, you have to be very suspicious. Right? And look, this one's easy to confirm, though. Right? Whether it's a text message, a phone call, an email. What you do, don't respond. Don't click the links. Don't call the phone numbers. Don't trust anything that the notification or message or the person claimed to be from your bank says. Instead, hang up or don't engage, right? And call the number of the bank on the back of your debit card, right? Call your bank directly and talk to them, right? But again, even if the caller ID, incoming calls, if it shows the bank's number, don't trust it. It only matters if you call the bank, right? Don't trust any calls that claim to be from the bank, because that's what these scammers do, right? And we have an example here of a text message version of this scam. Now you can see his text message impersonates TD Bank. It says, verified TD Bank card activity. Did you attempt a transaction for $250 at Walgreens? Reply yes if recognized or no if not. All right, but it's a scam. If you reply no, which is what you would do in this situation if it were really from the bank, right? Because you weren't at Walgreens, you didn't make a $250 purchase. The scammer's going to try to get you on the phone, and they're going to tell you your money's not safe, and they're going to try to convince you to transfer it and withdraw it, right? So scammers love to impersonate the bank. And because caller ID, a lot of times people get convinced because of caller ID. So again, you can't trust caller ID. Don't trust it. Oh, and there's a little story. Oh, shoot. Lost my slide here. There's a little story that goes along with this text message scam example here. The person that submitted it, before they received this text message, they actually had a phone call. They received a phone call. They didn't answer it, but they received a phone call, and the caller ID said it was TD Bank. Right? They didn't answer the phone, and then immediately after, they received this text message. So it's an example of how scammers will be persistent. They'll try to call you first. They'll follow up with a text message. Right? Don't underestimate how persistent these scammers will be. And we have a victim story here. And she fell victim to the phone call version of this scam. She said, I feel so stupid. A young Connecticut woman had her bank account drained by scammers after answering trusted Wells Fargo number. How to spot and avoid similar schemes. Sten's trouble began when she saw a familiar phone number on her caller ID. She said, I got a call from a Wells Fargo number saying I had fraudulent activity on my account and that a random person was being sent money from Zelle. Right, so by the way, Zelle is a red flag. Anything involving Zelle, be suspicious. And then the victim goes on to say, they told me to secure my account by sending money that would go back to my account right after. So that's a very common Zelle scam, right? These scammers call you, they impersonate your bank or they impersonate Zelle, and they say someone's trying to send money from your account. And they'll say you have to secure it by transferring funds. Well, they trick you into transferring your funds to them, right? So if you find yourself in this type of situation where somebody's calling you up, claiming to be the bank, even if caller ID says it's your bank, doesn't mean you can trust it. Hang up, call your bank back directly, especially if they start mentioning things like Zelle and telling you your money's not safe. You have to hang up and call back the bank directly. I can't stress it enough. And we created this cool little infographic that we like to share to spread awareness of this scam, the anatomy of a bank impersonation scam. Fake text alert, panic phone call, scammers provide a cover story. They tell victims to lie to bank tellers, saying cash is for home contractors, right? Because a lot of times they'll say there's an investigation. They'll say the teller could be involved, so you can't tell her why you're withdrawing the money. Just tell her it's for home improvements. It's a scam. Very common scam narrative. Got to hang up, call your bank directly. So that's a bank impersonation scam. Watch out for them, and again, be aware. Don't fall for it. Next scam we're going to talk about here is wrong number scams. I don't know why it's so surprising to me, but it is. these something as simple as or innocent seeming as like a wrong number text message, they turn into people losing their entire life savings, like to investment scams. Something as simple as a wrong number text message evolves into something as life damaging as that. Right? And that's the point of these wrong number scams. How it works is scammers reach new victims by sending text messages to random phone numbers. Your phone number, my phone number, any phone number, right? When someone replies, wrong number, or who is this, the scammer attempts to continue the conversation and build a trust with the victim. As trust is gained, this type of scam evolves into a romance or pig butchering scam that ultimately steals money from the trusting victims. Right? So, look, what's dangerous about these wrong number scams, I'm going to break this down for you, is they can start in so many different ways, right? Something as simple as a message that says, hey, Anna, I'm Josie. Or, excuse me, is this Emma? Or have a cup of coffee together sometime, right? You get this random message from a number you don't know, right? And it's natural for you to want to reply and say, who is this? Or you have a wrong number. But now you replied. You replied to the scammer. They know your number's active. They know you read the messages. And at the very least now, they're going to add you to more lists where they target you with more scams, right? At the minimum, that's what's going to happen is you reply to his message, right? Well, also what happens and why a scam is so damaging is when you reply, what they'll do is they'll apologize for having the wrong number, but then they try to befriend you. They try to say you seem friendly, right? And they'll try to get your personal information, your name, your age, your location, right? As you can see in this example here. These are real examples of how this scam works. You get a random message that says, hi. You reply back, hi, who's this? And it says, I'm Karina. Are you David? We met last week at Linda's party. You picked this number for me. Right? I reply back, hi, sorry, you had the wrong number. Right? At this point, conversation should end, but it doesn't because it's a scam. Right? The scammer's going to keep going. They're going to say, oh my gosh, I checked and found out I entered the wrong number or area code. Hope this doesn't bother you. Reply back, that's okay, no problem. Again, conversation should end. It just was a real wrong number. But no, they say, thank you very much. You're a very friendly and polite person. I hope we can be friends. Nice to meet you. My name is Karina. What can I call you? Right? So they try to befriend you. And what this is a long-term scam. And what I mean by that is they will literally spend a week or two sending messages to you every day, making you think that you found a new friend, right? And then eventually, in about a week or so, it evolves into either a romance scam or a pig butchering scam, which is an investment scam that is very dangerous. It's been clearing out people's entire retirement funds, right? And it all starts from just a simple little innocent seeming wrong number text message. Very damaging. We did a video about this scam. It's on our YouTube channel, the wrong number scam video. Got 102,000 views. It went viral. Got 102,000 views. So, very good video. Check it out. And there is one more example of scam I do want to show you. The other thing about these wrong number scams is that sometimes they'll even attach a picture to be more convincing. And what I mean by that is, here's an example. You'll get a text message like this. Hi, Byron, I'm Jane. It has a picture attached. Right. You can see this one came in at 1:58 p.m. Right. There's no response. And then 4 hours on the dot. Right. It's 4 hours on dot. 5:58 p.m. Right. Follow-up text. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right. So the reason I share this example is I want to point out, one, that they'll attach pictures to try and, set the vibes. They got a single guy or gal out there and get a picture like this. They might be like, hey, it's my lucky day. They're more likely to start engaging and talking and giving them information. Right. But the other reason I share this example with you is, so notice how there is no reply, and then 4 hours on the dot. 1:58, and then 4 hours later at 5:58 on the dot, 4 hours is a follow-up message. The reason why is because this is a bot. This isn't even a real person. This isn't somebody sitting here sending out these text messages and pictures. This is a bot that's sending out hundreds and thousands of this text out. The same text to hundreds and thousands of people. And it's programmed where if you don't reply at 4 hours, send the follow-up text. Have you gotten the pictures I sent? Right? It's not real. It's not even a person at the other end. This is a bot. It's programmed to gather your information, learn about you, and then eventually it'll transfer to a real scammer, a real person that's going to continue to scam. But this isn't real. Many people commented on the video we did about this scam. They confirmed they received the exact same text message, exact same picture attached. All right, so So if you think this is your girlfriend, if anybody who's watching is dating this girl, she's cheating on you. You should cut it off because she's cheating on you with hundreds of thousands of other people right now. So, but anyway, don't fall for this scam. That's a it's a wrong number scam. Right? You don't want to even reply, even if even if you think, hey, this could be a legit wrong number. I don't even reply. They'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. And if you don't know who it is, if it's important, they'll try calling and getting a hold of you, right? But don't engage. I don't fall for these types of wrong number scams. So who's still out there? What do you think? People still with me? I see John finally arrived. John said he's late to the party. What do you mean you're late to the party? It's not a party until you get here, John. The party hasn't even started until you arrived. Come on, late to the party. Good to see ya. Anybody else still out there? I don't know if BWAN is still watching, but I appreciate all the commenting you were doing. So we still have lots more, many more scams coming up this evening. We just wrapped up our first hour, going into our second hour here. I was planning on, was it 8:45? I was actually planning on streaming until 7:45. That's right. I was trying to do 2 hours instead of 3 hours. I've been feeling like 3 hours is a little excessive. So I've been thinking about maybe keeping the live streams down to 2 hours instead. So yeah, so the plan is actually we're going to wrap up at about 7:45 tonight. So we got about another hour left. But we do have to take our quick 5-minute coffee break. And then we're going to continue the live stream uninterrupted for the next hour. But I got to stay caffeinated, folks. And you can get your very own Scamaware 101 travel mug as well. You can visit our YouTube store. Go to scamaware101.com. Get your travel mug, mouse pads, other cool scam awareness items. Help support the mission out here. We have YouTube memberships enabled if you want to help support us by signing up for a membership. Shout out to Dave. Appreciate you, one of our members. We also have super chats and super thanks enabled as well if you want to tip a few bucks. And you can donate directly at scamaware101.com/donate. Dave says John is the life of the party. See, John? We know what's up. If you haven't joined our free mailing list yet, make sure to check out scamaware101.com and hit join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you some scam awareness tips, reminders when we're going live. All good stuff. Scamaware101.com, and also check us out on social media, your favorite social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, Blue Sky. We're on them all except TikTok. All right. So, on that note, let's go take this quick 5-minute coffee break here. And then we're going to continue with another hour of uninterrupted live stream.
Yo, it's Jared in the booth, spitting scammer and truth. They fishing in your inbox, man, they stealing your youth. Phishing emails, got that urgent in the line. Click that link and your bank account's not fine. Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pick butchering scams, fat wallets to slice. Invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scamaware 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PIN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Fake tech support, they call you at noon. Your PC's infected, yeah, they're singing that tune. Pick sponsoring scams. Betting wallets to slice, invest in the fake love, but you're paying the price. Scamware 101, keep your eyes wide open. If the deal seems sweet, man, they're probably hoping. Snatch your cash, leave you broken despair. Stay woke, my people, man, these crooks don't care. Wrong number text, they pretend they know you. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send a bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or I'll start taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears, they'll sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PAN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Snatch your cash, leave you broken despair. Stay woke, my people, man, these crooks don't care. Wrong number text, they pretend they know you. Acting all friendly till they ask for a few. Grandparent scam, your grandson's in jail. Send a bail quick or his freedom might fail. Arrest warrant scam, police are on the line. Pay now or I'll start taking your time. Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears, they'll sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
You must go to the store and buy gift cards.
Stop! It's a scam!
My uncle works at a hedge fund and gives me insider trading tips. Download this trading app.
Stop! It's a scam!
My bank suddenly needs my password, my PAN, and my first pet's social security number.
Stop! It's a scam!
This is urgent. You can't hang up.
Get lost, scammer.
Fake order text, your package is delayed. You click that link, boom, your data's displayed. They'll call, they'll text, they'll lie, they'll scheme. Play on your fears, they'll sell you a dream. Be alert, my friend, don't take the bait. A second of caution could change your fate.
All right. We are back. Back from our quick 5-minute break. And we're going to continue the rest of the live stream uninterrupted. But first, shout out to Dave and the Nigerian sugar daddy scam. Dave's saying in the chat, he witnessed a Nigerian sugar daddy scam today. Similar to the romance scam. There you go, man. Whoever... Did they want you to be the Nigerian sugar daddy? Ay, ay, ay. Never a dull moment, right? They always think of something. Anyhow. All right, we're going to continue here. There it is. All right, cool. By the way, welcome back, everybody. If you just joined us, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. Make sure to hit that like button, like, follow, subscribe. Our mission here is to spread awareness of common scams to target individuals. You, me, your friends, your family, your loved ones. All right, we're being targeted all day long, so it's important to be aware of these scams so you spot them and stop them. All right, so make sure to give us a like, a follow, subscribe. Check out our courses at courses.scamware101.com. Make sure to join our free mailing list, scamware101.com. Hit join mailing list. It's free to join. We'll send you reminders and some scam awareness tips, all good stuff. And make sure to follow us on your favorite social media platforms. Support the mission by getting your very own Scamware 101 mug over on our YouTube store, on our website. All right, let's talk about some more scams. So we really recently started reporting on these faith-based group leader impersonation scams. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, that type of scam is when scammers pose as trusted religious leaders, such as priests, rabbis, or pastors, to deceive members of their community. They reach out with urgent requests for money or gift cards, right? And believe it or not, this is a big problem. So we analyzed a bunch of scam reports for January 2026, all recent scam reports. And I was actually surprised to see how many reports there were of these scammers impersonating faith-based organization leaders. Like they would literally impersonate pastors from your church and rabbis from your synagogue or priests from your church, right? And, well, look, I'm going to read some of these reports. I'll sum it up for yourself here, right? Contacted by our pastor. He needed help getting some Apple gift cards for cancer patients in the hospital, but was busy with other things, right? That was reported on January 12th, 2026. Okay, so that gives you an idea how far these scammers will go. They'll literally impersonate your pastor. They'll email everybody at your organization, your group, right? And they'll claim, hey, send me gift cards, but we're going to go give them to patients at the hospital, right? In another case, here's another one report. Again, January 21st. The person impersonates a pastor from our church in South San Francisco, asked to send money for Brazil because he has a personal emergency. So there you go. This scammer's impersonating their pastor, claims to be in Brazil, and asks you to send the money as an emergency. All right. You know, how many members of their church accidentally sent this scammer money before they realized it wasn't really their pastor, right? A couple more reports here. I received an email that appears to be from my priest. He asked me to buy 10 Amazon gift cards. Immediately, he needed to send them out, right? So look, it's not pastors, it's priests, right? And in this case, it said 10 Amazon gift cards. Okay, and think about that. 10, probably $500 each. That's a $5,000 scam, right? So here's this member of the church who thinks, oh, I'm going to go run to a fair real quick, purchases all these gift cards, takes pictures, emails them back to somebody they think is their priest, right? Not realizing it. As soon as they email the pictures of those gift cards, they just lost that $5,000. Right? And here's another report. Just to show this type of scam, they're targeting all religions. It doesn't matter. Someone's saying they were my rabbi, asking me to get 5 Target gift cards, $500 each for sick people, right? So think of that, 5 Target gift cards, 500, it's $2,500 scam right there, right? And then the member of the synagogue thinks, okay, that we're giving gift cards to sick people. I'm going to, you know, in the email, the rabbis, the priests and pastors, they'll offer to reimburse them too. So it's not like they're saying just go and buy gift cards. They're saying we'll reimburse you, right? But they don't realize it's a scammer. They're not going to get reimbursed. So they think they're talking to a rabbi and priest or pastor, right? They're not worried about getting ripped off and not paid back. But it's a scam. So look, this is actually a big problem. It's a big problem. Many churches are being targeted, synagogues. I mean, it crosses all religions. And these scammers, they're doing it. So be aware of this one. You know, if you're a member of one of these faith-based organizations, right, make sure your other members are aware of this. And by the way, I want to mention this is one thing we do as well to one of the few things we charge for to make money. We do group presentations. We do group presentations for community groups, senior groups, faith-based organizations like church groups, right? Synagogues. We recently did a presentation for a synagogue. So they're Zoom presentations. We'll do a Q&A with all the members of your group. So if you're interested in something like that, if you think your group could benefit from that, reach out, and we have our contact information on scamaware101.com. Reach out and we'll quote you some prices. But we work with senior communities, local communities, right? Faith-based groups, HOAs, community centers, law enforcement. We'll do presentations for them. So the list goes on. So if you're interested in a group presentation, reach out. But anyway, back to the scam. Be aware, right? And something to be aware about this scam too is even though we're talking about how they're impersonating pastors, priests, rabbis, right? Because what they do is they create a fake email address. They'll reverse a letter, right, and make it seem like you're talking to the priest, but you're not, or to your pastor, whoever. So look, here's some tips to protect yourself from this type of scam. Inspect the sender email address carefully. Right? Scammers often impersonate trusted contacts like friends, family, coworkers, or community leaders by using fake email addresses. Always examine and confirm the sender's email address is legitimate. Even one extra letter in the email address can mean it's fake. Right? Verify through a second communication channel. Right? You get some strange email like this, don't just take it at face value from the email. Actually, call your pastor, priest, rabbi, whoever, call them directly, call the office, confirm. You always have to confirm a second way. You just can't trust these things anymore just from a random email. And you know what, even if the request is from an email, a real email address, even if it's from your actual rabbi's email address, it could have got hacked. The scammer could have got into his email address. Now he's trying to trick all the members of synagogue to pay money. All right, don't fall for it. Always got to confirm. Dave says, don't know if this qualifies, but in Nevada, they're fake monks walking the streets asking for donations, and the police won't do anything. Yeah. Well, I guess what could it do? How do they know they're fake? There's also I'm not sure if it'd be considered a scam or a marketing tactic, but there's also the situations where, as far as the in-person stuff go, they'll give you like a little worthless, like a flower or something like that, but then they'll be like, okay, now donate. I gave you a little flower, now donate. Right? But you didn't ask for a flower. But it's kind of like a marketing technique where it's like, well, hey, I gave you a flower. You took the flower, right? You didn't realize there was going to be a donate situation. Now they're like, oh, what? You're not going to donate? So there's that psychological thing going on too. Oh, we got a couple people in the chat. We got Cato. You know what's the worst kind of scam that millions of people fell for is whatever the bot doctors say. Okay. Well, I don't know about that, but I will use that as an opportunity to mention Medicare scams and impersonation scams that claim to be from your doctor's office, and they're really scammers, right? They know who to impersonate. They know who your pharmacies are. They know who your doctors are. They know who your insurance are. So when they call you, they'll make the phone number appear like it's them calling, and they'll know who to impersonate, right? So I know you weren't referring to medical scams or that type of medical scam, but I'm going to use it as a segue into that type of medical scam. So thank you for mentioning that, Cato. And then also we have India says, what is this? Well, that was a little while ago that you asked that, so you probably figured it out by now. But in case you haven't, or for anybody new that's just joining, I'm Jared with Scamware 101. And our mission is to spread awareness of common scams that target individuals. You, me, your friends, your family, right? We're being targeted all day. Phone calls, emails, text messages. And awareness is key in preventing yourself from becoming a victim, right? So we do this live stream every week, 5:45 p.m. Eastern. We usually go for about 2 hours. We used to do it longer, but it was too long. So we go for about 2 hours now. We got a little bit more than half an hour left, so still some good stuff coming up. If you're still in the chat there, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Make sure to give us a like, a follow, subscribe, maybe some reactions. We appreciate it. If you're feeling generous, we have memberships enabled, super chats enabled. You can purchase some merch to support the mission over on our YouTube store. But also make sure to join our free mailing list too. Scamware101.com to join mailing list. We'll send you reminders when we're going live, when we post new content, scam tips, scam warnings, right? And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We have links here all on our website, Scamware101.com. All right, the next scam we're going to talk about, which I don't think I have slides ready for. Wait, do I? I don't have slides ready for it yet, so I'm going to switch it up real quick. And we're going to do some crypto impersonation scams. Anybody got crypto out there or care about some crypto impersonation scams? Maybe use Coinbase or Gemini or one of those exchanges. Because I have a couple examples of that type of scam to share with you right now, actually. So this next scam we have here, I have two phone call examples I'm going to share with you. The first one is a Coinbase impersonation scam, which basically they're impersonating a Bitcoin exchange or a crypto exchange. Coinbase is a very common popular crypto exchange, in case you're not familiar with crypto. Right. Same thing with Gemini. Gemini is also a very common crypto exchange that people use for Bitcoin. Right. So scammers target those accounts. They want to steal people's crypto. They want to steal their Bitcoin or whatever else they have. Right. So just like bank accounts, these bank scammers, these crypto scammers, they call you up and they claim, there's suspicious activity in your crypto account, and they use their clever little tricks to try and get access to your digital assets. All right. So I actually have two examples. I received both these scam attempts all in the same week. Right. And this first one that impersonates Coinbase, I'm going to play for you right now. And one of them I went along with for a little bit. Right. And then the other one is just a recording of a voicemail. So let's take a listen to this first example. This is the Coinbase impersonation phone call. I think this is the one that I probably went along with for a little bit.
This is about your crypto accounts or Coinbase, your digital asset platform account.
Oh, what's going on?
Well, sir, with our file, there is a registered Coinbase account under your information, and we have your request that there's a request of changing your primary email address from this account. So we are calling you for the verification whether are you the one who authorizing this request to change your email or not.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay. So when was the last time you were active to your Coinbase account? Do you remember that?
I'm not sure. Can't you tell from over there?
Well, sir, right now, as I can see, there are some of the recent login we have detected by our server. And as I can see, the requests which are coming from, it is from the different IP location in foreign country, in Mexico.
Oh,
and the next login we have found, it is in the New Jersey. So among these two locations, can you please verify me which one could be a recent or it could be a last location from where you have monitored your account? Is that from New Jersey or it is from the Mexico, the country?
I travel, so it might have been both. They didn't like that. Then they hung up. They didn't like when I said I travel, might be both. So what I was curious about was why they were saying New Jersey. And then I realized afterward, I have a New Jersey phone number, right? So even though I'm not in New Jersey, they probably said New Jersey because the phone number was a New Jersey area code, right? So that's probably why they were asking that. So if you find yourself in that situation, don't be convinced just because they kind of got a state, correct that you used to be in, right? So that's the Coinbase impersonation one. On this other example, there's a Gemini impersonation, right? And this is just a voicemail. It's not a whole phone call. But let's take a listen to this one.
This is an automated call from Gemini. A new device is logged in from Singapore. If this was not made by you, press 1 to be connected to one of our representatives.
Right, so that's another scam attempt. Trying to impersonate an exchange and saying there's suspicious logins on your account. Right? It's all a trick. So you get phone calls like these, don't fall for them. And the same rule applies that apply for any communications about the bank. If you're concerned this is real, reach out directly to your exchange. Don't call the phone numbers that the calls say, right? Don't press 1. Instead, just hang up and call your exchange directly if you're concerned that any of this is legit. But I can tell you that if you get calls like this, they're not going to be. It's not going to be legit. Right? So beware of that scam. Very common right now. Let's see, which ones we're going to do next here? Bear with me 1 sec. It's going to move these, reorder some of these slides. Yeah, I should do the tax and IRS impersonation next, and the Medicare. Okay. But first, I just want to talk about this one other scam. It's a newer scam. I just got to find a recording that I could play for you real quick. So it's just this. Let's bear with 1 sec. It's a Comcast impersonation scam, and these are starting to become more common. Sorry, bear with me 1 minute. Almost there. There it is. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about here. I didn't mean to edit this in real time for you. So it's a fake promotion scam. And fraudsters impersonate a service provider, like your phone company, cable provider, right? And they'll try to trick the victim into paying with a retail gift card. And what they'll do is they'll scare the victim. They'll leave a voicemail or a phone call, and they'll say that your 50% discount is expiring today, and your bill's going to double, right? That's how this narrative goes. They say your 50% discount's going to expire, and your bill's going to double, right? So, and then you call back this number, and they say, well, we have a different promotion going with Target. And if you call Target, if you go purchase Target gift cards and you pay with Target gift cards, we'll give you your 50% discount. Right. So here, I'm going to play a recording for you. It'll make more sense, I think. So if you get a phone call like this, it's a scam. This one impersonates Comcast.
Hello. This voicemail is from Comcast Xfinity. Your current 50% discount on your monthly bill will expire by the end of the day. To maintain your reduced rate, call the number on your caller ID immediately. This is your final reminder to act. Call back now. Thank you.
Right, but that's a scam. And what's going to happen is when you call back that number, they'll impersonate Comcast, but it's not Comcast. They tricked you. They tricked you into calling a fake number back. Right? So you call back that number, you think you're talking to Comcast, they're going to say, yeah, your bill's going to double. You know, your promotion expires. But we have a new promotion going on with Target. So if you go to Target and you purchase a bunch of gift cards, you know, $1,000 worth of gift cards to pay for your year in advance, right, we'll give you the promotion still. But the victim doesn't even realize. They're not talking to Comcast. They're not actually paying Comcast. They're actually being tricked into purchasing gift cards and providing them to scammers. So watch out for this type of scam if you find yourself in that situation. Another scam that's been circulating, it's kind of similar, that's important to be aware of. I don't have the slides ready for this, but I will consider it a version of a fake retail website. So there's a new version of this fake retail website scam going around. And what's happening is you'll get a phone call from scammers that they'll be impersonating your cable provider, your phone provider. Right? I think in this specific case, the reports were where they were impersonating like T-Mobile and Spectrum, I think. Right? But what happens is they call you up. It's a scammer. They're impersonating the provider, and they say, you have these points that are expiring. You have 10,000 free points that are expiring just for being a customer with us. And they expire today. So you could go get a free phone or a free item right now with those points, but you have to do it today before they expire. So this is a courtesy call. I'm calling you from the provider as a courtesy, right? And they say, go to this website to redeem your points, right? But this is just a clever trick that directs you to fake retail websites, right? So you end up on this fake retail website, and you'll think that you're redeeming these points for a free product, right? That could be worth hundreds of dollars, right? But what they do is then they say, oh, but you just got to pay for shipping. You just got to pay $8 for shipping or whatever, right? That's the trick. You're never going to get the item, but now they're going to steal your payment details. Any payment details you enter for that item are going to get stolen, and you're never going to receive the item, right? And that's known as a fake retail website scam, but they use that new points expiring narrative. They call you on the phone, it's an unsolicited phone call. They impersonate your cable provider, your phone provider, your internet provider, and they tell you, go to this website to redeem your points. You get a free phone and everything. But again, you go to a website, end up on a website, maybe it's a wireless earbuds. You get free wireless earbuds, redeem your free points, right? Go to this link. You go to the link, it looks like this. You think, great, I can get free earbuds. Wow, I'm saving $175. I just got to pay shipping. But it's a scam. Any payment details you enter are going to get stolen. Right, and that's the type of fake retail website red flags that you need to watch out for, is that a lot of times there'll be a product supposedly that's worth hundreds of dollars, and they get you by saying, just pay for shipping. They're actually going to steal your payment details, and you're never going to get the product. Right, so that points expiring scam is one of the ways you could end up on these fake retail websites. But there's a few other ways you could end up on these fake resale websites too. Let's take a minute and might as well talk about them while I got the example up here. And in fact, this example actually comes from an email that said I had an undeliverable FedEx package. They were sorry for it, and they wanted to give me a free gift as compensation. And if you click the link to get your free gift from FedEx, which, by the way, FedEx will never offer you free gifts. It's a scam. Right? It takes you to these websites, this fake retail website. It's got a nice big Black Friday banner, like special offer. And here's your wireless earbuds. Just pay shipping. But again, they steal any payment details you enter. Right? So you get an email from a vendor, valued customer offer, get your free earbuds. Right? But it's a scam. It's not really from the vendor. You might be searching for wireless earbuds on Google, and you get a search result, free wireless earbuds. But the scammer might have purchased that sponsored listing, right? Scammers purchase sponsored listings just like anybody else. Okay. You might see an offer pop up on social media or Facebook, right? Scammers purchase ads just like anybody else on social media, right? See these wireless earbuds pop up, free earbuds, just pay shipping. Very common scam. Don't fall for it. And they'll use popular items. Right, here's a wireless heater, or a portable heater they call it. Identical scam. All right, save $175. Just pay shipping. Here's wireless headphones. Black Friday sale. Well, they're all examples of fake retail website scams. This type of scam picks up a lot during the holidays, but it's important to be aware of it all year round. And that points expiring example that leads here is just kind of one example of that. So be aware of these scams. Don't fall for them. Very common. How are we all doing out there? Who's still with me? Let me know in the chat. Let me know you're watching. Give me some reactions. So, I think what we're going to do next here, I said, I want to try to keep these live streams around 2 hours or so. So we got about another 15 or 20 minutes left to go. So how I like to wrap up these live streams is usually for like the last 20 minutes or so. I like to check out the AARP Scam Tracker map, which is a very cool resource when you're trying to track scams and what's trending scams or find details about certain scams. All right, so what we're going to do here is I actually have a link to the AARP Scam Tracker map on my website. So you visit scamaware101.com. And of course, while you're there, join the free mailing list. Click join free mailing list. And follow us on all your social media platforms. We have links to each of our official profiles here on our homepage. All right, but what you want to do after that, of course, is click on Tools and Software. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see the last link here is the AARP Scam Tracker map. As you click that, it's going to pop up. It'll ask you if you want to find local scams, or I always click no because I want to keep it nationwide. I want to get a feel for what's happening all over the place. You can see here, so the most recent scams reported 2 days ago, the 24th, right? So we're going to look at a few pages of recent scams that were reported. And look, this is live, so it's hit or miss. Sometimes these scams are garbage. Sometimes the scams are great, right? So it's hit or miss sometimes, but that's what we do when we do a live stream, right? So who's with me? Let's check out some of these recent reports on the AARP scam tracking map, starting with these reports from just 2 days ago, actively circulating. First report, they don't give any details, but they mention late overdue bill, which leads me to think that that's a power or utility impersonation scam, right? So I mentioned those briefly. The scammers will impersonate your power and utility companies. During the winter, they'll make it sound like your heat's going to get turned off. Right? During the summer, when you need AC, they'll make it sound like your power's going to get turned off. And they use that to create fear and try to trick you into paying a bill that's not real. Right? You end up paying a scammer thinking you're paying your power company. So don't fall for that type of scam. Very common. Very common. Usually they'll call you over the phone. There's been cases where they say to scammers, they'll knock on your door too. So don't fall for those. So here's a second report here. Elder scams and fraud. Money for hurt grandson. Call Adam. Do not call. Mother ask his birthday. Hang up. Okay. Not too much details, but that sounds like a grandparent scam. Or a similar one. Where they claim your loved one has been hurt or needs help, assistance. There's another one. Elder scam and fraud. Phone call stating if I had failed to appear for... Oh, there we go. An arrest warrant scam. Let's see what details this one gives. So we discussed these arrest warrant scams a little earlier. We actually went over a few scam reports for those that came in January. So let's see what this report here from 2 days ago says. See if it kind of lines up with what the other reports are saying about these arrest warrant scams. Come on. Oh, it's not loading. I need the Jeopardy music playing. Do, 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 do. Oh, I don't know why scam's not loading. Press it one more time. We'll see if we can do another one. Uh-oh. Nope. Nope. All right, let's see what was just that scam. Hope it's not the whole map having issues. I think that was the first one I actually clicked into, right? So, let's see. Phone call from 516, claimed to PSE&G, looking for an unpaid bill. Hey, that's another example of a power utility scam. Watch out this month. It sounds right off the bat. It sounds like these there's a lot of power and utility company scams happening. And even though we couldn't open that one about the failed to appear in court, look, that's an arrest warrant scam. We already talked about those. I shared some examples, some similar scam reports. So, like I said, it's an active scam. Be aware of that one. Someone calls you up, claims there's been an arrest warrant. You failed to appear in court. You missed jury duty. All right, be suspicious. You know, it's a very common scam. Next report here on the 24th, lottery-related scam. So we didn't talk about these too much. We mentioned them briefly, but we need to watch out for these lottery and publisher clearinghouse scams. This report actually mentions a very common narrative we hear about. Called to say I won the Publisher Clearinghouse Award of $3.6 million and a 2026 Mercedes and a $9,000 a month for life, right? So if you get phone calls with that type of offer or any type of lottery-related offer, be suspicious, right? And the way these lottery scams or publisher clearinghouse scams work is what they'll do is they make you think that you won millions and millions of dollars, but to receive your award or your prize, they're going to say that you have to pay taxes first. You have to pay fees first. You have to provide your banking information first, right? And that's not what's true. If you had actually won a real lottery or a publisher's clearinghouse, they wouldn't make you pay them first. You wouldn't have to pay taxes up front. That's something you would pay later, after. So don't fall for this type of scam. Inheritance scams work in a very similar way, right? These scammers contact you. They tell you that you're entitled to a large sum of money. In this case, it's an inheritance instead of a lottery, right? And they'll say that someone with the same last name of yours died and now you're entitled to the inheritance or life insurance, but they'll try to make you pay fees or taxes on the inheritance first, right? Which never arrives. You never get the inheritance, just like you never get the lottery or the prize, for Publishers Clearinghouse. So be aware of those scams. They're very common scams: lottery scams, inheritance scams. They take advantage of greed sometimes, and sometimes they take advantage of just hope. Someone thinks, oh, finally, I got my big break. That's all taken away. Right? Because what they'll do is they'll say, imagine how much the taxes and fees are going to be on millions and millions of dollars. Right? It's probably going to be everything that you got saved up for most people. So, and most people think, well, even though they need every penny I got saved up, it's going to give me my winnings. So they don't realize they just gave away their entire savings and they're not going to get anything. It's very sad, especially when it's an older person who just they're tricked into giving away their retirement, because that's not insured. That's an important thing to realize and recognize, is the difference between a scam and fraud. The bank covers fraud, right? What that means is that if someone logs into your account and transfers the money themselves or steals the money from your account themselves, right? That's considered fraud and that's insured, right? But if you're tricked into transferring or sending money, like you actually not only send money, not realizing that's a scam, but you send the money or transfer the money, right? That's not considered fraud. That's considered a scam, and that's not covered by the bank. So when you hear about these horror stories about the older folks and seniors who they're tricked into transferring or withdrawing and giving a scammer their life savings, their retirement fund, everything they got, and they're not able to retrieve it, and the bank doesn't return it. They're shocked to find out that it's not the type of thing that the bank covers. So it's a sad story. And again, it goes back to why awareness is key, right? You have to be aware of this stuff because you don't get many second chances when it comes to it, if any. Let's keep on looking at some of these scam reports. Again, these are all recent reports from the AARP scam tracking website 2 days ago. I got a text message from someone called Apple indicating that my Apple Pay was compromised. They then transferred me to a secure line. Let's look at the details of this. But this is an example of kind of like the fake order scam. I showed you an example of a text message impersonates Apple. It said there was a charge. Wasn't you? Call this number, right? But that's how the scam works. And it sounds like this person is reporting that same type of scam. Let's see if this one loads. There might be something going on with this not loading for some reason. All right, so I might not be able to click into details this evening. I bet it's working for everybody else just fine out. Oh, wait, there it goes. Did it work? No. Yeah, something's going on with their site. It's not loading details. Damn. Well, it's always nice to get some more details, but hey, as I go through these reports, we can pretty much tell you about most of them as just from the brief description here. Right, so that one was, I already showed you an example of one similar. I just wanted to see if it was the same. Right, you get a text message. It claims to be from Apple. There's a transfer. They tell you to call a number. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Welcome, Nigella. Good to see you. We're going to be wrapping up in maybe about 10 minutes or so, but still glad to see you. Health-related scams. Several months ago, I received an email from Atnia saying if I did not contact them by a certain date, I would automatically be, this probably isn't going to load. And that's okay, because if it doesn't load, I'm going to take this opportunity to show you my own examples of these healthcare scams to watch out for. Right, so Medicare scams, healthcare scams, these scammers impersonate your healthcare provider or Medicare to steal your private and personal details. Right, if somebody calls up and they're asking you for your Medicare number or your Medicare start date, don't trust it. It's a scam. Right? A lot of older folks being targeted by this, because what happens, they steal your Medicare information, they file false claims, and then you end up getting a bill for medical equipment or medical tests that you never received. Right? Don't be tricked when these scammers know things about you. There's been reports of these scammers that they'll know some or all of your social security number, and they'll say, hey, this is to prove that we are who we say, but it's not. It's a scam. Can't trust caller ID, right? Always remember, can't trust caller ID. We know that these scammers, they'll show your pharmacy on the caller ID, your insurance or Medicare's number on the caller ID, your doctor's office. You can't trust it. You got to hang up, call back directly. Right? They'll offer free medical supplies. They'll say they're providing new Medicare cards or insurance cards, or they'll say that they need to verify current information. They'll say that there's updates to Medicare benefits that they need to talk to you about, and they'll try to get you to provide your birth date or Medicare number as, to verify who you are. But it's all part of a scam. So watch out for this type of scam. Nigel is saying he came across whereby the scammer deposits 2 pennies into your real PayPal account. Why would they do that? How does that scam work? We recently released a video on Zelle scams, accidental payment scams, where they'll send you money on Zelle and try to get you to send it back to them. There's a lot more than 2 cents. And Nigel is saying Medicare scams originate from Punjab, Pakistan. Yeah, sure. You know, it's like we try to... Certain scams come from certain areas a little bit more than others, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're all over. You know, we for a while, you know, we would say that the grandparent scammers would be like, we'd be saying they're all coming from the Dominican Republic, right? And then suddenly it's like, oh, they bust a group in Canada. So I mean, they're all over the place. All right, so let's see. Did that report ever load? We got about 5 more minutes now. Yeah, so it's a shame we can't read the details of these reports this evening, but it's okay. Like I said, it looks like I've had us covered with examples anyway here of everything that's come up. Let's see what other summaries they give us. Some recent scams. To the next page, page 3. So now we're down to a couple scams from 24th and a couple from 23rd. Auto-related scam. The following was sent to me by a text message from following number. State of California Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, final. Don't even have to open it. It's either a unpaid road toll or outstanding traffic ticket scam. We opened up this live stream, but that was one of the first scams we discussed. And actually, used that as an opportunity to show you. I just recently updated a page on our website here under Knowledge Base. Click Knowledge Base and go to Unpaid road toll scam here. On this page, I actually just uploaded a whole bunch of examples and variations of this unpaid road toll scam. You see here. Over the past year, 2 years, I've been coming. And it's funny, you can see how it like evolved. And we also have our fake road toll scam video too. When did we release this? We have the date here? Nah. We released this a while ago, though. It was long before. This is when it first started picking up. We were on it. Scam 101. Join that mailing list. You're the first to know. Anyway, let's check out maybe the rest of the scams here. Yeah, so watch out for those unpaid road toll scams. Still circulating. They've been circulating like crazy for a while. Person identified himself as police, said he was calling about my daughter. I don't have a daughter. There you go. It sounds like that was going to probably be the grandparent scam. You know, your daughter's been in an accident, you send money, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. And we covered that one. You know, we shared an example of that. You know, we just mentioned a grandparent scam. You know, I showed you the clip earlier from the Dominican Republic. Court order notice of default and failure to appear. You assume that's probably an arrest warrant scam too. Government imposter scam, Hawaii DMV, urgent compliance, official final warrant. So, wow, so that's the first time I've seen the Hawaii example. Yeah, there we go. Even the Hawaii fake text messages, unpaid road tolls, outstanding traffic tickets, the Hawaii DMV. Good old Hawaii. All over. I received a call stating they were Verizon and offered me free upgrades. I agreed to upgrades and paid the taxes. I'd like to see more details about this. Maybe we'll get lucky. Let's see if this one loads. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll use it as a sign to get this wrapped up anyhow. Got a lot of good details out of the summaries. Anyway. Alright, yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Alright, well, you know what, folks? I think it's about time to wrap this up. We just hit 2 hours. Been streaming since 5:45 p.m. We do this every week, every Thursday, starting at 5:45 p.m. Eastern. So make sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. I try to cover a good mix of some of the more common scams every week. You know, even though it gets a little repetitive, they're important to be aware of. But I try to mix in a bunch of different ones too. So every week, you know, maybe about half of them, you know, are the common ones that we do have to, you know, cover each week. But then the other half, you know, try to mix in something different than the previous week. So anyway, so make sure to like, follow, subscribe. You know, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Scoop up some merch. Scamware 101 travel mugs, coffee mugs, mouse pads. Support the mission. It really does help. You can donate. Scamware101.com/donate. Donate directly. And again, we have YouTube memberships enabled. Shout out to Dave, #1 YouTube member over there. We have super thanks enabled, super chats enabled. If you want to send a few bucks that way, we always appreciate it. Make sure to join the free mailing list. Scamware101.com. We'll send you some scam awareness updates, reminders when we're going live, all that good stuff. Like, follow, subscribe on all your favorite social media. And make sure to check out our courses. Our new course around courses.scamware101.com. I've got a list for $9.95. You get access for a year. It's about an hour of videos broken down into different sections, common ways a scam start. Comes with a nice little worksheet, downloadable worksheet. It's actually a pretty big worksheet. I think it's got like 30 pages. Good stuff. But check it out. $9.95. Fundamentals, how scams start. We're going to get some more courses created and posted too. All right, everybody. That's it. I'm going to wrap up these live streams. Thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate you all. Hit that like button if you haven't yet. Give us some reactions before you go. Have a great weekend. Almost there. One more day to go. I'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. Now, as always, bear with me as I get these live streams shut down. Have a good one, Dave. Thanks again.